Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria police identified the person killed in a head-on collision Sunday.
Plus, Bloomington residents are set to decide on the latest town incorporation initiative.
And a vigil is planned to honor Texas A&M Corpus Christi student Caleb Harris on what would have been his 22nd birthday.
Well, the good news is we have a cold front headed toward the crossroads. The bad news is we also have tropical cyclone number 9 developing, and it will roll into Florida as a Category 3 hurricane this week. We'll have all that coming up in just a moment.
And Victoria West Warriors, they open up district play versus San Antonio McCollum Cowboys this Friday night. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shawna Currie.
Victoria police identified the woman who died in a wreck Sunday on North Navarro. 73-year-old Sandra Moogie, the passenger in a white Chevrolet Blazer, died from her injuries in the crash. 74-year-old Randall Moogie was driving the Blazer and was traveling northbound in the 4800 block of North Navarro Street. For unknown reasons, he crossed the median. The Blazer went into the southbound traffic, causing a head-on collision with a white Jeep Grand Cherokee driven by Ashley Jett. The driver of both vehicles were transported to hospitals with unknown injuries. The investigation is ongoing.
The vote or not to incorporate the town of Bloomington will now be in the hands of residents. Danny Garcia, Victoria County Commissioner for Precinct 1, which includes Bloomington, tells us a petition that met all of the requirements for approval was submitted to the Commissioner's Court. The other petition that included only some sections of the community was rejected by Victoria County Judge Ben Zeller. Garcia says this new petition includes the entire town, not just parts of it, giving a better reflection of the whole community.
All the documents were reviewed. The judge agreed that he had enough information and he felt comfortable signing off on that one. So that one will be moved forward to the May election to go on the ballot.
Commissioner Garcia says all registered voters who live inside the incorporation map of the community are eligible to vote. The election will also include the election of a mayor and 2 city commissioners for the city of Bloomington.
This brings us to today's viewer poll. Here's the question. Do you agree with incorporating all of Bloomington rather than just parts of it? Overwhelmingly, 93% of our voters say they agree with incorporating all of Bloomington. 7% say the town should not be incorporated at all. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results on 25 News Now after Monday Night Football. No new arrests have been made at a cockfighting event in Goliad County on May 11th. On that day, 63 people were arrested on charges of engaging in organized criminal activity, cockfighting, and unlawful carrying of a weapon. 45 vehicles, 8 trailers, and money were seized then. Authorities tell us they are having trouble making more arrests because cockfighting season is over. The raid scattered all the participants. A school in the Crossroads gets a major national honor. Industrial Junior High School was named a National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. Industrial Junior High is one of 13 Texas schools to get this honor. The award highlights schools that excel in academic performance or make major strides in closing achievement gaps among different student groups.
All right, we heard some wonderful news today, cold front. So let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And I guess really we should say cool front.
Yeah, it's going to lower the temperatures about 10, maybe 12 degrees, but it's going to lower the humidities, and you're really going to like the rest of this week. We'll have that in a moment. But I don't want to underestimate the power of this particular storm. We've got to talk about it because you see it right there. Sometime on Thursday, a Category 3 hurricane is going to be hitting Florida, and we'll have the latest for you coming up in just a few minutes. Don, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. Well, with Election Day 42 days away, some local candidates are talking to voters at a candidate forum in Blessing tonight.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting is live with more. Trenton?
Candidates for the Texas House of Representatives District 30 position are meeting in Blessing today for a town hall Q&A. The meeting begins shortly and will go until 9 p.m. at the Blessing American Legion post. Stephanie Bassham and AJ Louderback are there, along with Matagorda Sheriff candidates Aaron Green and Rick DeLeon III. Attendees can ask questions, register to vote, and meet some of the candidates they'll see on the ballot. The election is just around the corner, and there are a few more important pieces of information for voters. The last day to register to vote is on Monday, October 7th. The last day to apply for ballot by mail is Friday, October 25th. Early voting begins on Monday, October 21st, and ends on Friday, November 1st. The general election day is Tuesday, November 5th. Reporting live, Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
All right, Trenton, thank you. The Victoria Independent School District and local law enforcement agencies are teaming up on a press conference to address their response plan to threats to campuses, as well as campus and student safety. Representatives from the Sheriff's Office, Victoria Police Department, and Fire Department will discuss the steps they will take to enhance campus security and protect students and staff from threats. The conference takes place at the Victoria ISD Administration Office in the boardroom Tuesday at 1 p.m. For those who cannot attend, a live stream on the Victoria ISD website will be available.
A World War II memorial in Yoakum has gotten a makeover. The anti-tank gun was purchased by the VFW Post 2456 in 1952 and then donated to the city of Yoakum in 2001. The city unsuccessfully went through a bid process last year to find a contractor to refurbish the monument. The Yoakum American Legion offered funding, and the Lower Colorado River Authority stepped up to offer their services to perform the work needed to restore the cannon back to its original condition. Veterans say the purpose was not only to have the monument refinished or refurbished, but have it stand for something in the community.
For the purpose of the project is not to just refurbish the cannon, but also have it stand for something. We wanted it to remind all veterans who see it that their service was important. God bless all you. God bless America. Thank you.
The cannon is located in the triangle between Huck Street and Business 77A in Yoakum for all to enjoy. A road closure for drivers in Victoria County to be aware of this week. Colettoville Road East will be closed to through traffic from Old Goliad Road to Colettoville Road at the church. The closure will be in effect Wednesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
A remembrance ceremony will be held Tuesday in honor of Texas A&M Corpus Christi student Caleb Harris. His remains were found in a Corpus Christi wastewater well months after he was reported missing. The vigil will be held Tuesday night on the university campus on what would have been the student's 22nd birthday. It's the first memorial organized by the university in memory of Harris. He went missing from his off-campus apartment March 4th. Human remains were found in late June and were identified as Harris on July 17th.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed an appeal to block the State Fair of Texas gun ban from taking effect. Paxton is asking the 15th Court of Appeals to prevent the city of Dallas and the State Fair of Texas from imposing a firearms ban on government-owned property in violation of Texas law. Last week, a district court denied Paxton's motion for a temporary injunction against the ban.
Former President Donald Trump plans to return to Butler, Pennsylvania, where he faced an assassination attempt back in July. NBC News reports Trump will hold a rally next month in Butler, the city where his first assassination attempt occurred. The rally is reportedly scheduled for October 5th, exactly 1 month before Election Day. Trump was shot in the ear during an assassination attempt in Butler on July 13th. Ken Paxton filed supplemental motions Monday in an ongoing lawsuits against Travis County and Bexar County regarding voter registration programs. This comes after finding that a resident deceased since 1980 received a voter registration application urging the deceased person to register. Paxton claims Travis County mailed an unsolicited voter registration form September 18th to a resident who passed away 44 years ago. A group of filmmakers confirmed SpaceX is running a secret Starship booster recovery operation in the Gulf of Mexico off Boca Chica Beach. The Super Heavy booster carried the Starship to space June 6th. It was the first Super Heavy to survive the journey in one piece and return to splash down into the Gulf. SpaceX said at that time it would not try to recover the booster. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, Alabama authorities continue investigating a surge of tips in a Birmingham mass shooting case.
Plus, a man recalls stopping a mass shooting suspect at a Texas church in 2017. Alabama authorities are going through a significant number of tips connected to the Birmingham mass shooting investigation. 4 people were killed in Saturday's shooting. At least 17 people were hurt. So far, no arrests have been made. The FBI and Crime Stoppers are each offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Detectives say they believe the shooting was not random. Officers also say it stemmed from an isolated incident where multiple victims were caught in the crossfire.
A mentally ill man who killed 10 people at a Colorado supermarket in 2021 was found guilty of murder and faces life in prison. Jurors reached their verdict Monday in the trial of Ahmad Alissa. His attorneys did not dispute that Alissa, who has schizophrenia, fatally shot 10 people, but he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. The defense argued he could not tell right from wrong at the time of the attack. The jury also found Alissa guilty on 38 charges of attempted murder. A man is sharing his account of how he stopped a mass shooting suspect at the Sutherland Springs Church in 2017.
The story from Stephen Williford is being shared by a Colorado church safety organization in its effort to make churchgoers feel safer.
So I stopped an active shooter at a church.
In November of 2017, a gunman opened fire inside a church in Sutherland, Texas, killing 26 people.
I grabbed an AR-15 out of my safe. I grabbed a handful of ammunition and ran across the street barefoot to engage with the murderer.
The gunman drove off in a car with Williford chasing him down for over 11 miles until the gunman died by suicide.
Nobody wants it, but we all should have the mindset and the preparation to be able to defend our communities.
Wilford was a guest speaker at a conference held by the Mesa County Church Safety Network. The group offers resources and procedures to churches of all religions that prepare members for possible threats.
So if you're aware and looking, then you can intervene early. So early recognition and identification, but also having a strong response plan.
The group provides awareness and physical training for its members.
And that includes Colorado law training, use of force, de-escalation, empty hand techniques, as well as potentially an armed response, depending on the church.
Prescott says his goal is to keep churches a safe place for the community.
The U.S. is returning nearly 300 antiques that were stolen or smuggled from India. India's government says most of the relics are terracotta artifacts from the eastern part of the nation. The artifacts include sculptures and vases that date back to as far as 2000 BC. Indian government officials say the U.S. has returned nearly 600 cultural artifacts to India since 2016.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Sunny, warm today. Got up to into the 90s again. We're at 92 right about now. Over the weekend, you know that it's now fall, right? So it should start to feel like fall, don't you think? We actually got up to 94 today, and our average high is 89, so we're a little bit above. But next couple of days, we have a frontal system actually coming through our area. First front of the season. You're going to like it once it passes. And then we've got to take and talk about what's going to be happening to Florida this week. So all that coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, a little humid out there today as we got back into the 90s, but for the next couple of days, our atmosphere is going to be getting more and more unstable, and our chances for rain are actually going to go up a little bit. At this hour of the afternoon, here we are. And up here, headed up toward Hallettsville, they've got a little bit of a shower going there. This is not going to last very long. Once the sun goes down, that will be decreasing. But hey, it's the beginning of a very big change for Texas. Now, this frontal system actually came into the panhandle over the weekend. It's not one of those barreling fronts. It's kind of moving slowly. So it moved down, and places like Abilene and Big Springs, they're just dancing in the streets. They're in the 70s right now in afternoon temperatures. Pretty impressive. This front will actually make it through our area by Wednesday night, and beginning Thursday, it's actually going to be very nice around here. Finally, we get a big break. The low that it's associated with is up here, and here's a high pressure that's going to help push it down into our region. Now, the frontal system arriving, and of course, we're going to like the weather, but that frontal system is going to save us from the hurricane. I'll show you that in a moment. So these are the forecast highs for tomorrow. So as you can see, we're only in the low 80s. That's tolerable. And even in West Texas, they'll be up into the 80s, but with low humidity and little sun, it's going to be very comfortable. Now, here is tropical cyclone number 9. Sometime probably tonight. By tomorrow morning, this will be Hurricane Helena. And then it's going to get into the Gulf of Mexico and strengthen up to a 1. And then here's the really, really bad news. I'm really, really bad news. As a Category 3, it's going to approach the Big Bend. Okay, that's Apalachicola, Tallahassee, Panama City over here, and all the way down to Clearwater. They're going to get a Category 3. Okay, that's 110 mile an hour winds. So this is going to be occurring when? It'll be on Thursday. The frontal system is going to come down and sort of push here and keep that away from us. But it is pushing it into Florida. So it's kind of unfortunate that it's going to happen. So I hope that they start packing up right about now. They got to get away from all those low-lying areas because there's the big rain coming up. This is, of course, off the scale here. We're talking 10 to 15 inches of rain, and it's going to track north and then roll right into the panhandle of Florida and then be a big rainmaker for the eastern states. So it's, shall we say, this will be the biggest hurricane of the season so far. And it's getting late in the season for anything else. For us, we've got some pretty good looking weather, a shower or two possible tomorrow. Then as we get to Wednesday, that ramps up a little bit more to get a little bit better shot at some rain on Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll be at 94 up in the Cuero area. So here we go with the rather, still on the warm and humid side for tomorrow, but isolated showers and then more showers expected in the afternoon on Wednesday as the front comes through. Then dry air, look at that, getting down into the mid 60s at night, barely in the 90-degree range in the daytime, all the way into next weekend. It's going to be delightful, but we'll certainly be watching all of your weather angles coming up as we speak. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. If you scan that, you can put Crossroads a day on your phone. Shawna, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Looking forward to those cooler temperatures. Well, Max Williams joins us now with a look at what he has coming up in sports.
Thanks, Shawna. UHV men's soccer star Dario Elson wins some Red Deer Athletic Conference honors today. I'll tell you what some of those are coming up in sports. All right, everyone, we officially have gone through 4 weeks of high school football here in the South Texas area. And a lot of teams, they're not trying to move to district play and around the midway point of the season. One of the games we're going to look at this week will be Victoria West Warriors. They have their first game in a new district for the Warriors in District 13 5A. They'll face San Antonio McCullum Cowboys, who are 2-2 this season. The Cowboys, they lost their first 2 games of the season versus South San Antonio and Somerset, but they've kind of got back on track. They won their last 2 games versus Floresville, 35-7, and Corpus Christi Ray, 34-6. And they're still going to have their hands full because the Warriors, they're 4-0. They won last week against Beeville Jones, and wide receiver Tristan Bernard was a huge factor for the team. He returned a kickoff to the house, 96 yards, and scored 2 touchdowns as well for West. And Brody Flores was a big factor as well at the running back spot for the Warriors. And I just mentioned there a minute ago there, Tristan Bernard, again, for our viewer poll, and I switched it up a little bit for this viewer poll. I wanted to ask the people who you thought was an impact player of Week 4 from last week. So here are the options. Cuero quarterback Jackson Marie, St. Joseph Flyers running back Dedrick Callis, and the Victoria West wide receiver, like I mentioned, and Tristan Bernard. Here are the votes, and right now it's going to Jackson Marie right now, but it's very close. Again, I looked at it, it was about 47% for Marie, about 33% for Callis, and then again, a little bit close there for Bernard. So we'll see if it changes there for 10 o'clock. And speaking of something else, again, Dave Campbell's South Texas football release there again. Week 5 rankings here for the high school teams in South Texas. And here's what it looks like here in 4A Division I. El Campo is still at number 10 spot. Then over in 3A Division I, Edna is at 4. Goliad is at 9. And then we look at here in 2A, you got Refugio still at number 2 and Ganado at number 3 in 2A Division I. And so we're going to keep an eye on, though, against Refugio. They have a tough challenge against Fremont. They're 3-1 this season for this week. Now, what about some soccer? Last week, UHV men's team defeated Texas College and had a draw versus Jarvis Christian this Saturday to begin conference play. One of the players that shined for the Jaguars for Dario Elson. He won the Red Bear Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Elson is a native of Belgium and opened having a pair of goals versus Texas College and followed it up with the draw. Again, had 2 goals as well versus Jarvis Christian. And he kind of mentioned to UHV, felt amazing to play with some goals this week, but the recognition wouldn't be possible without the support of my teammates. We've been working hard together and their effort has pushed me to perform my best. I'm grateful to be a part of this team. And so Elson, he's going to try to see if he can get this goal still going. And they have their home conference opener versus LSU Shreveport this Thursday afternoon. Then to end our show, the MLB regular season is almost done. We got 1 more week left until the playoffs, and the Astros, they're hoping they can win the AL West versus the Mariners. They have a 3-game series. It starts tonight. They're at 7-10. Again, we want to keep a lot of momentum going because the Mariners, they got, again, a tough team coming up, and Hunter Brown is going to have to start strong. He's 11-8 this season, 3.57 ERA. So see if the Astros can get back on track tonight. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Max, thank you. We're back in a moment. A 12-year-old in Maine hopes he can make an impact for folks who may not have the means to get a birthday cake. And finally tonight, as part of Dorian Pillsbury's 12th birthday, he's collecting donations so everyone can have the experience of having a birthday cake. This year, Dorian put a donation box inside a local store, and he stood outside for 2 hours Sunday collecting donations. Plus, any money he collects is put towards buying more cake. Dorian will continue accepting donations through next weekend. Yes, there are some people out there who have a birthday party, or maybe even don't have a birthday party, but they don't have a birthday cake.
Yeah.
So Dorian, good idea, man.
And with the last name like Pillsbury, you're kind of bound to do great things, sweet things for people, right?
Exactly.
That's a poppin' fresh idea right there, yeah. And then we are now officially in fall.
Yes, sir, folks, and it is officially fall. Next 2 days will be rather humid with a couple of showers, but the cold front comes through Wednesday night, and by Thursday, cool, dry air is going to roll in. Now, it's not, cold, but the night times are going to be very comfortable, getting down into the 60s. And then after that, all the way into the weekend, it's looking very nice. Of course, Florida is going to get pounded by a huge hurricane, and we'll be tracking that for you all week long.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight after the game.